our first guest knows firsthand what it is like to have an ALS diagnosis in the family. In 2018, his mother, Carol, was diagnosed with ALS, and just a year later, she lost her battle. Now, Carol's journey with ALS sparked a new family mission to help others battling the disease that became the foundation and the forefront of what this family is fighting for. Here to share his inspiration on ALS advocacy and how he's continuing the fight to find a cure in his mother's honor, please welcome AMS Staffing's Director of Recruiting and Business Development, Stephen Sigesmund. Stephen, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. I hear you've got some snow where you are, right? You're joining us all the way from Seattle?
A little bit of snow on the ground, yeah. Not common out here, but we're doing okay. We're hanging in there.
No, I think that's just part of the Christmas magic. That's what's coming. So Stephen, your brother Andrew was going to join us, but unfortunately the flu took him down. So if you're watching, Andrew, we do hope that you feel better. We are so sorry that you're sick. Yeah. Hopefully I didn't scare you away forever. But Stephen, I'm glad that you are here joining us. And this is really exciting because we have so many cool things to dive into. But I want to first start with, I had your brother on the show last year. And so we all got to hear these just beautiful memories, these beautiful stories, and how incredible your mom was. I mean, she just sounds like such a one-of-a-kind woman, my kind of people. I know I would have fallen in love with her like everybody else who met her did. Now, she passed away in 2019 from ALS. I know that couldn't have been easy, but for those watching that had never had the opportunity to meet your mom or get to know her or be touched by her incredibleness, can you describe for us maybe one of the traits or characteristics you most admired about your mom?
I think that, and this would have gone all the way till the end, I think that she was so selfless. She was so much about other people, right? She always wanted to know how you were doing, how are your kids, how so-and-so, that it was just one of those things where it's like, Mom, you can worry about yourself sometimes, but I think that being selfless is probably the one thing that I would admire about her, no question.
Yeah. Did you take on a lot of those lessons into sort of the man you became or the father you've become, or
I tried. I'm trying. You'll have to ask my wife. I don't know about that.
Well, we'll have a conversation about that later. I'll get the scoop from your wife. I'll find out.
Perfect. No, but that is definitely a trait that I admire, that, I do want to, replicate, because I know that was something, it was something very special about her. And I know that, that type of behavior goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. We could all use a little bit more of that sort of Carol-like attitude, compassion, and love. We could use a lot more of that in the world today.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of how incredible your mom was, I mean, anyone that's watched the show or that's been touched by ALS knows how hard it is, because it doesn't just impact your mom. It doesn't impact the individual that was diagnosed with ALS. It impacts the entire family. So what was that like for you? I know that we were in Seattle, but still, I mean, you were impacted by this. Your mom had ALS and she was fighting this battle. What was that like for you to go through all of that?
It was the challenge for me is that I wasn't around it all the time. And when the diagnosis came out, we learned about it. I wasn't very familiar. It's like I knew Lou Gehrig's disease, and that was the extent of it. The way I learned about it really was going to support groups out here, which I was actually advised by ALS Chicago because I wanted to know, how do I better understand what's going on? Because if I travel back and forth every time I see her, it's going to be different. But how do I make sense of all of this, I guess, is the best way to put it. And I found that, meeting other people, seeing what other people are going through, how it's impacting them, how it's impacting, their family, because it's family members attending these groups as well, or these meetings as well, is what kind of helped me better understand what's going on in Chicago when I'm not there. And then between my brother, my sister-in-law, her parents, my dad, they were there to, tell me, hey, this is what's going on, because, you're not there all the time, right? So it was definitely a different way to learn or be exposed to this. But we all got through it, obviously.
Yeah. And came out, I think, always stronger. I know that sounds crazy to say, but the ALS
No.
has a way of changing people. And that, I mean, that leads me to also, this was the most beautiful quote. And I want to see how this impacted you, because I remember hearing this from your brother talking to us even last year. He said your mom had this incredible quote that she would always say, which sort of became her motto and her way of dealing with ALS, is that the worst things that happen to you can be the best things that happen to you if you don't let it get the worst of you. Choose joy. What did those words mean for you? And sort of how has that impacted your life? That your mother was going through something so hard, and that was the attitude, that was the mindset she had dealing with this.
Yeah, I think that it kind of makes you take a step back and look at things about, okay, and this is like, how bad are things right now?
Yeah.
Somebody in her situation where, you're essentially handed a death sentence, if you will.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you take a look at that and figure out, how am I going to go on? Like, do I just kind of throw in the cards, or do I know that this is going to be, awful, but hey, my family's here. I want to be with the people that I love and care about the most. I think that it's like taking a look at something so drastic, but she was able to, take the bad and somehow find, I guess, the good, if you will, and everything. So
a testament to the kind of incredible woman she was, to have that sort of ability and mindset. It's really beautiful.
absolutely.
And people are chiming in. Peggy, who I believe you would know from the chapter, Peggy said that Carol was such a gentle and compassionate light. No, Peggy, I absolutely agree with you.
Absolutely.
Aw. Did you have a lot of connections to anyone with the ALS Association?
I mean, Peggy
Were you
was there
working with
around the
Peggy?
clock. She was there,
Yeah,
I wasn't not being, while I wasn't there, I know that Andrew and my dad obviously had a lot more interaction with her, but I always heard about Peggy. I knew there was something, always trying to make something happen, move things around, do what she could to be supportive, to be there. And when I finally had a chance, when I finally met her in Chicago, I was like, okay, this makes sense. Now I understand. Now I understand why she is the way she is. So yeah, so fortunate to spend a little bit of time with Peggy.
She's the best. We've got such great care service coordinators here. Peggy is absolutely one of those. Now, I hear your mom had a very specific request for both of you boys. She really, really wanted you to take care of others suffering with ALS. And I can say that I've got to personally see this now. This is the second year in a row I get to see you guys and how your family comes together to really make that happen, to keep living that mission out for her. So what does it feel like to carry on your mom's work? I mean, has this been a hard promise for you guys to keep, or do you love doing this? What's this been like?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, you want to keep going in the long run, right? It's like, it's not one of those things where you go through it, it's over, and now you forget about things. I think we have the understanding that there's a lot of work that has to be done. There's a lot of things that are continuing to evolve in terms of slowing down the progression, or, how do we tackle this thing, right? And I think that that's something that, I try to remember that, she obviously was not the first, not going to be the last to have battled with this. And so there's always a way to continue, to do more.
And there's always a way. You guys have continued to find a way year after year, because last year you guys did this for the first time. You blessed our chapter with a matching gift campaign. So you are back here now to talk
That's
about
right.
you doing it again. Tell everybody that's watching or that's going to listen to this, what is the Sigesmund family doing to keep this do more, help more going strong?
So this year, what we're doing, and we're going to be partnering up with another family this year, is for every dollar donated, we're going to match, and then the other family will also be matching. So hoping to triple the amount donated this year. So we've got a lot of activity that needs to start happening here.
Absolutely. So that, guys, let that sink in. We're talking about a triple gift campaign. So like Steven said, every $10 donated turns into 30. Every 100 turns into $300. That, Steven, you and your family are making such a huge difference and making such a bigger impact. You guys are doing this up to $50,000. So if we can raise $50,000, that turns into $150,000 to help provide all the services, all the equipment to those battling ALS and their families free of charge. They do not pay a cent for any of the services that the ALS Association provides to them. This is huge. This is happening because of you, because of you and your family. This is incredible. Thank you. That word doesn't seem big enough. That doesn't seem like it conveys the excitement here, but thank you times a bazillion. This is so huge. So
of course. It's exciting to be a part of, for sure.
Absolutely. And everybody watching this or listening to this, I am challenging you. So we're throwing this out there now. I was telling Steven about this beforehand. So last year, when his family was generous and they blessed us with this incredible gift last year as well, during the live show and the 1 hour that we were rolling, we raised just under $3,000. That is huge. So I know that we can do better this year. I know that we can top this. So I want to challenge everybody watching, and Sam will keep us updated as this is going through the show. So if you're watching, no pressure, but pressure, we would really, really, really like to hit that $3,000 mark. So please start donating. Sam has already put the link up. We make it super simple for you. Just click on that link. You can make your donations and your money will be tripled. Every dollar helps. There's no donation too small. So make sure you click that link. The clock is ticking. You are down to 40 minutes left. You've got about 43 minutes left of the show. So let's get that in. Let's get those $3,000 going. We can absolutely make this happen. And in the meantime, Steven's going to tell us some more exciting things. So I want to know, though, you are back to do this for the second year in a row. Why? Why is this important to you? I know it seems very obvious, but why is this important for your family to do again this year?
Well, I think what's important is to understand that there's a lot of people that are going to go through this. Like you said earlier, yes, there's, the person who has ALS themselves, but all the people around are going through it as well. And, with that, you want to be able to help and reach as many people, who are going to be exposed to this awful disease. So I think it's about continuing to make everybody aware. I mean, I find that, you talk to people, somebody seems to know somebody who has ALS. It's like, it's absolutely crazy. Somebody knows somebody. And I think that, it needs to be talked about. These are the ways that it's going to continue to evolve, that all the advances everybody wants, to happen. It happens by, yes, the donations, but having those conversations about ALS and, things of that nature. So I think that's part of what's important, not to let this thing phase out, but to continue and to stay active, so that we can see benefits in the future, obviously.
It's true. And isn't that crazy? You just said it. You could come into this having no idea what ALS is, not knowing anything other than the name of Lou Gehrig. And then now that you're in this, now that you have lived through this, now everyone you meet in some way, shape, or form, like you said, has a connection, knows somebody, has lost a loved one. It is so crazy that this disease has touched so many and it's still so sort of kept quiet. It's really not out there as much as it should be. It's insane. Well, that's what we are trying to do here. That's why this is exactly. So important. We're going to make anyone that wants to listen to us listen about this and tell them. And like I said, you've seen this firsthand. You know what it's like. You know the importance of some of these resources that the chapter provides, because you're right. It was more than just your mom. This impacted your whole family. And you know what? All the people that are sort of coming now, that are being diagnosed, that are going through this journey, you know what those kids feel like.
Yeah.
You know what it's like to watch somebody that you love go through this. That's why we need to put an end to this, because nobody should lose their mom like this again.
Nope. So gotta donate.
Exactly. Tell them, what's your plea? Because I've been talking a lot. What's your plea to those that are watching this? How are you going to get them to open up their pockets and give us some money?
God, that's a good question, Susan. You just threw me on.
I put
You
you,
just
I'm
threw
sorry.
me
I put you.
on. What if we quadruple it? What if we quadruple it? Who else
I mean,
can we
that
get
is
in
the
here?
best answer right there. Exactly. It's true. Well, if you're watching this, I mean, how could you say no to that? How could you say no to Stephen tripling your donations? You guys click that link. Let's get a donation in. We will say your name on the show. We will give you a shout out. I will give you a virtual hug of appreciation.
Free t-shirt, free trip to
Oh,
Bali, free trip to Bali. Every
love it.
donation
Love.
on
Are you
Susan.
making that happen, Steve? I was almost with you there for a second. I will send you a postcard from Bali.
Beautiful.
Yes, with the beautiful scenery, and you can put it up and you can pretend that you are right here with us. But make those donations happen. Absolutely. Well, I thought this was a really cool. This isn't so much as a question. This is just I thought this quote from your dad was super, super cool on sort of why advocacy for ALS is so important to you guys. So I just want to read this for a second.
Yeah.
We can chat about it. But so your dad said that there is so much care that's required for someone battling ALS, that those challenges are amazing. And ALS was the most horrific disease that I've ever seen in my life. With ALS, you always know that there may not be a tomorrow. So getting care and relying on your family and friends and outside resources like the ALS Association makes a difference. So if we can help make that difference for others, that's what we are going to do. I think that sums up exactly why you guys are doing this. You guys are making a difference for so many other people. It's what you're doing is just absolutely incredible. Would you say that rings true for you? Has this been the most horrific disease that you have ever encountered?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I've never seen or could imagine being in a situation where you're losing both you're losing your physical capabilities, and you know what's going on, but you can't speak to it. You can't say anything. I think that's the hardest thing, but I think that's why it's so tough, because it's not that you're still there. You're very much there. My mom and we saw it, but it's so hard to not be able to watching somebody not be able to communicate what's wrong was beyond me. And to see the pain that was caused for her, like, it was just awful to see. Like I said, it's a death sentence that everybody's given at this point, but that's why we want to donate. So hopefully it reaches that point where it's not that, 2 to 5 years, maybe 10 years if you're lucky type of thing. That's why we have to, commit to doing this.
Absolutely. And your mom, I know that your brother was telling me your mom was such a communicator. That was maybe one of the things that she was the most amazing at. And she loved talking to everybody. So to have something take that away from her, awful. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. I mean, it was, not being able to hear her voice, or, not getting the happy birthday voicemail type thing. Those are the things that that you don't realize how you miss till they're gone. But yeah, she would, she was the one who you talk to, and it was you cover every topic imaginable, and then at the end of the conversation, Andrew and I joke about it, she'd say, so what else is going on? And it's like, Mom, we just covered everything that we could possibly discuss. What else do you want to talk about? But it's like, those are the things we would give her a hard time about. Now then that becomes the thing that you miss in one way or another, I guess you could say.
Absolutely. I can imagine. Yeah. Well, we actually have, later on in the show, we have 2 speech language pathologists. I cannot say any words tonight. This is Stephen, you're going to have to start hosting the show at this point. I don't know what's happening to me.
I don't
know. We have 2 speech language pathologists on this show later tonight who are going to talk about this communication issue. But I mean, this is really great because you lived it sort of firsthand. So you watched that progression for your mom. You watched ALS take her voice. Did you get to see the ability for her to communicate in a new way? Did your mom have any of those options available to her? Any types of technology that helped her communicate in a different way?
Yeah, everything became via text message with her. Is how she wanted to communicate with us. It was, we talk, and then she would, type respond, and that was the way we communicated once it reached that point.
Okay.
Which was frustrating for her. I know, because who wants to
Yeah.
not be able to just, not be able to just respond, so,
Mhm.
but that's what she wanted to do, and that's how we did it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's beautiful because love can still find a way to show itself. It
There
might
you
be a
go.
little bit more complicated, but she always could find a way to
Yeah.
express her love for all of you. Yeah. It always finds a way.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
this is why it's so important. Let's find a cure for this. Let's make this livable. Let's find new technology that gives loved ones the ability to talk and communicate in even better ways. We can make all of that happen with these donations. So again, I'm just going to keep pressing it until it happens, guys. Keep hitting that link.
Somebody's got to donate. Keep it
Somebody's got to
coming.
do it. I know. Well, Stephen, I was really hoping I was going to try to get Ryan Rosenthal to watch this. We were talking about this before the show because I was massively going to even give his name out there to say, Ryan, when you watch the show, make it happen, my friend.
Better donate, Rye.
Better
Even though it's been
donate.
a
I'm pretty
long
sure.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of a long time, sort of maybe people that are relevant, important to your family, but life happens and you sort of lost touch. We had kind of talked about this on the phone, you and I, Stephen. When you guys did this for the very first time last year, what were you maybe most surprised or shocked by when it came to the response you got from donations to this matching gift campaign?
Yeah, there were some people on that list, some names that we saw that, I hadn't heard of for 20 some years. I think that my mom truly touched a lot of people. I think a lot of people have different special memories of my mom. And, this could be somebody that I went to elementary school with who I haven't talked to in 20 some odd years, and I think it speaks to her character and, the way that she carried herself and how others viewed her. It was remarkable to see people that came out to pitch in. Really, it was
Oh,
fantastic. It was fantastic.
any beautiful stories or extra special surprise donations that really just blew you away? Anything specific you can think of?
There was a person who donated, who became part of our life, who really became the person that was, who cared for my mom, uh,
Mm.
Monday through Fridays. She doesn't want to be named, so I won't mention her name. But and no, I'm not surprised that there was a donation made. But it's there are people that take care of people because it's their job, and that's what they do, and it's done. They've done their job, and this person really became my mom. Really became one of my mom's people at the end. They were, there was a bond there that I don't think a lot of people understood. And I just know this because this is what she explained to me at one point. There were a lot of things that my mom shared with her that I don't think my mom shared with anybody else, but it takes a certain person, to not only do the caring in terms of the administering, the medication, this and that, but the patience piece is something that I don't think is as common as you'd like. And we had that. My mom had that in this person,
Mm.
and we all love her. And but yeah, so she was somebody who pitched in, and she's a special one. So she's watching and knows who she is.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you to that special someone who was there and could sort of bring a little bit of light into a bummer of a situation and then keep spreading it. So these donations go such a long way because they are getting tripled. So that is tripling the ability, tripling what you are doing to help. That is just tripling so many things. So donate.
Donate,
Donate,
donate.
donate, donate, donate. Ooh, Julie. Julie, who I'm sure you know and love, like all of us, she is chiming in. She's thanking you for sharing stories about your mom
Oh,
and your family's journey. Oh,
thank you,
the fam-
Julie, sweetheart.
It is very true. She says, your family has made an impact in the lives of those we serve. It has made an incredible impact, and everybody watching, you can be a part of that as well. You can be a part of that impact that is made through donations that, thanks to Stephen and his family and another incredible family, is being tripled. I never get bored of saying that. Real exciting to get to say, you want to hear it again, guys?
It sounds a lot better than doubled. I like it.
Tripled. This is so huge. How did this even come up? I know this is probably such a silly question, but how did you guys even stop and think, man, you know what? Let's double some donations. What was that discussion like?
I wasn't the primary who had that discussion. I wasn't the leader of that conversation, to be completely honest with you. But I think to be able to do that, is something that I think our families realize, that if you can do something like that, that it's all the more better. Like, why not do whatever you can to help and really try to make a difference in this thing? So, something very special to all of us, and it will continue to be, year after year.
Oh, that's huge. Oh, again, thank you. Thank you is not even big enough, but thank you.
Absolutely.
That is massive. Well, I can't even believe this, December. I'm still not wrapping my brain around. I don't know what happened to even October, November, but yeah. Okay. So here we are, December. It is almost counting down until the days until Christmas. Do you have any, you and your family, do you guys have any holiday traditions that maybe were really important to your mom that now you've continued on now that she's gone, or maybe any new ones that you've created for your mom and how to honor her this holiday season?
My mom made this Jello. Now work with me, okay? She made this cranberry. She made this like very, not like throw the powder and boil the water type of Jello, but she made a very
the kind of Jello I make. You mean
exactly the kind of Jello you make. And she was not the I don't know if she wasn't the cook that she wanted to be. She chose not to really do as much in the kitchen, which was totally fine.
Okay.
But she had a couple dishes, and this Jello happened to be one of them. And I think of that. The only reason I mention this is because a few months before my mom passed, one of our oldest family friends, who was kind of like a sister to my mom, Sharon Nassau, she was in town. And, ALS, my mom's either in a chair or she's laying down all day, right? And for some reason, the Jello came up, which is, that holiday Jello that she would make. And for the first time, and I don't know how long, she decided to get up and make the Jello with Sharon's assistance. And I took this video of the two of them. And I mean, obviously my mom's not standing up by herself doing everything, but Sharon's there helping her while my mom's, doing the mixing and, the pouring to the best of her ability. And, it's the last thing I remember my mom doing where I feel like there was a form of independence, I think, that she probably felt she had, because she was up, she was doing something. And as silly as the Jello is, it is delicious. I think that's something to continue to incorporate, because it does remind me of that last time I saw my mom really up and being with one of the most important people to her. It's just a beautiful memory that I have. So if it's the Jello that reminds me of that, then I'll continue with the Jello. That's just, so donate.
Donate, and maybe Stephen will make you some of that magical Jello.
There you
go. Just
go.
maybe, you don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, you could get a surprise. So do you have this recipe for this cranberry Jello? Do you guys make this every year at Christmas?
I think my sister-in-law found the recipe or had the recipe. We did find the recipe. It was on one of those little 3x5 note cards. My mom, and she had the worst handwriting ever. I mean, it was beautiful, but nobody could really read it. And so we had the recipe, but my wife and my dad and I think a couple years ago, we tried to make it because we're thinking this can't be a big deal. And it was just the three of us just looked at each other and we were like, we're not doing this right. We're I'm picking out frozen cranberries from one of the fruit bags, and my dad's got the whipped cream. And it sounds like madness, because it was, but my mom did a great job with it, you know, whenever she did make it. So it's something we're gonna have to try to perfect as the years go on. I guess that's the way I'll look at it. Yeah.
Yes, you will. I have faith in you. You'll get there, and you should document this along the way. You should take little videos. This is year 1. This is year 2. Like now here we are, and see the progression of how you guys can perfect this Jello.
And anybody who donates will get we'll have the Jello sent, and then, you know, we'll triple it this year. So, you know, let's get things going. Let's get it, guys.
Let's get it going. You guys heard it. Who wouldn't want to donate for some cranberry Jello? And it's like a surprise. Will it be good? Will it taste strange this year? We don't know. That's part of the fun. Make that donation so you can be the taste tester of the Sigesmund family cranberry jelly. I think you're onto something here. I am very curious. I would really like to try this at some point. So I think we're all going to have to find ourselves in the same place, and you are all going to have to make this cranberry Jello. And I would really like to
bring it to Bali. We'll bring it to Bali for you. Sound good?
All right. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. See, you say all this stuff now live, but we have a recorded version of this now, so I can hold this over your head forever because you said it.
I'm in trouble now.
Yes.
Now I'm in trouble. Yeah.
You are in trouble.
Yeah. I have to deliver. Okay, fair enough.
You do. You do. Well, I love this. That is so cute. I like that now every time you think about this, about Jello, you think about your mom.
Yeah, there
you
go. It sounds awful.
It does not sound awful. I guarantee
Jello reminds me of my mom. Huh, okay.
Jello is delightful. So there's nothing wrong with that. And I know that she's probably smiling, laughing. You guys are entertaining her up in heaven while she's watching you try to make this in the kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, again, Peggy. Yes. Peggy's in. So our group is expanding. She's going to come join us in Bali for some cranberry Jello on the beach. I love that.
Let's do it. Sounds good.
Anyone else want to join us? Make that donation. Click that link, especially before Steven goes away for the night and he's secretly going to go back and try to start making this cranberry Jello for everyone that's donating. So before we lose him to that, please make sure that you donate. If any of you have any questions, by the way, for Steven, please put those in the comment section quickly before he goes. If you want to know anything about what he has been through, what his family has been through on this journey, please let us know. We will absolutely ask him. I know he's down for answering anything. He's a good sport with us here.
Absolutely.
So put those in the comment sections. I kind of already asked you this, but again, Steven, what would you like to say to anyone that has donated in the past campaign or that is going to donate in this campaign? What would you like to say to those donors?
Thank you, first and foremost. No, that I think a lot of us, this is something that is going to hit home in one way or another, I think, unfortunately, in the long run. I think that, you know, what a way to try to battle something like this. Not a better way for, you know, than to donate. And I hope that, you know, people see the value, you know, in donating for this cause, because it impacts a lot more people than you realize. At least that's what I found out going through this process. So hopefully everybody keeps it up.
It's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. So a huge thank you, everyone that's watching this. Please, please, please donate. Let's hit this goal. Let's hit $3,000 tonight before the show is over. Because if we do that, that means that $3,000 is going to turn into $9,000. So let's make that happen. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. Well, Steven, thank you. Seriously, thank you so much. Sorry, I don't know where my brain was tonight, but I love that you can just go with anything and then we can have an absolutely ridiculous chat and still come out on the other end of it.
Donate.
Yes, I was just going to ask you, is there anything else you want to say to anybody before you go? But that sums it up. Donate.
Just I want to thank you for having me on here. I do appreciate it. I am a follower, or will be a follower. But no, thank you again so much. Everything that you guys have done for us and hopefully that we're doing for you, we really appreciate it.
We love you. We are really happy that you've been a part of the ALS Association's family, but I'm really happy now that you have joined the Sunflower Hour family. You're one of us now.
Thanks so much, Susan. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Best luck. I cannot wait to celebrate with you after we hit this goal and we've raised $150,000 and we're going to have some cranberry jello in honor of Carol.
Sounds good.
Have a wonderful night and we will talk to you real soon.
Thanks again. Bye.
Bye. You guys, Steven is incredible. His family is so absolutely incredible. And as he said, this will hit more people than you can think of. Every 90 minutes, someone is diagnosed with ALS, and every 90 minutes, someone loses that battle. So we have so much ability right now to turn $1 into $3, $10 into $30. Every donation you make, you heard it straight from Steven's mouth, is being tripled from now until the end of the year. So we have less than 1 month to raise that money to get it tripled by these two incredible families. So let's make it happen. The link is in the comment section.